Well, hello there, planner fans. It has been a while since I've posted a video. A lot has happened in these last couple of months. I got married, we moved, I'm finishing up my master's degree and starting into the world of teaching. I'm really excited about that. So I've had a lot going on, but I just wanted to kind of do a really quick video with you guys. I'm going to go hopefully more into depth on how I'm actually using these systems, maybe in January after I give it a little bit of time and once I actually settle on which one of these two I'm going to use. But I just want to show you guys how I created disc-bound systems using pre-existing planner systems that I had laying around, which was the Erin Condren and the Inkwell Press A5 inserts. So I had previously used I've done the disc-bound system before, but it was, I think they've definitely upped their game. They have these amazing covers. Like this is absolutely beautiful, this quilted. I think this is real leather, but their covers are beautiful. The Staples system now sells aluminum discs, which in my opinion makes all the difference in the world. They originally come with these little plastic discs and they're kind of a pain to use, and I think they look really cheap. I thought they made the notebooks kind of look like the notebook from Blue's Clues, you know, with these gigantic rings on the side. But the new Staples line has some really, really nice upscale options. There's also Levenger, which has some really great stuff. But Staples is having a sale on all of their ARC products, 30% off planners, notebooks, and accessories. And then I actually was able to get 30% off on this big, huge, heavy-duty punch. And the first person I talked to said that I couldn't get 30%. Oops. The first person I talked to said that I couldn't get 30% off. The second person I talked to said that I could. So that is normally about a $50 planner. Oh, sorry, a $50 punch, and I got it for, sorry, I dropped sparkle, the little pieces from the punch everywhere. Gosh. All right. So that's normally a $50 punch, and I got it for like 32 bucks. So it was definitely worth going in. And then they also, for their Martha Stewart disc-bound line, is buy two, get one free. So there's a good sale going on right now with all of that stuff if you want to give it a try. And so I'm basically just going to show you guys kind of how I got to this point. So I have been an avid bullet journaler for a couple of years now. But I've also had a love of Erin Condren and, you know, really pretty planners and things like that. So this is the bullet journal that I was using. And I'm not going to go too much into it right now, but basically it's a bound journal. You have an index and you fill it up with collections. You fill it up with notes and lists and things like that. And the original system doesn't really have much in place as far as forward planning goes or future planning. So a lot of people will write in calendars like this. This is an option as well. I prefer my monthly view like this. And then they will also do like a weekly view, something along the lines of that, or something along the lines of that. And honestly, a bullet journal is meant to increase productivity and less time wasting, and writing all of those monthlies and the weeklies in was a huge time suck for me. I think this is a very valuable tool for keeping track of lists, collections, things like that. But as far as future planning goes, I still have yet to find a system that will work in this bullet journal like this. So I would find myself not using this, even though it had all kinds of valuable information in it, and going back to a regular planner. So I knew that I wasn't going to ever go back to a ring-bound planner. I love ring-bound systems. They're gorgeous and classy, but I just cannot write over those rings, and it drives me insane. So the disc-bound system is kind of the best of both worlds. You have, if you guys don't know what a disc-bound system is, they have a bunch of discs, and they come in varying sizes. This is the 1.5 inch. This is the 1 inch, and basically you just pop your papers into the disc-bound system here, and it becomes like a ring-bound where you can add pages. You can take them out as well. So you just, if you want to add or take it out, you just pop it out. And then you can also fold it back on itself. So if you wanted to write in your notebook, you can just fold it on itself and write like a regular notebook, and your hand's not going to hit, like my hand goes right over the top of these discs right here. So it's pretty ingenious. It has some drawbacks, you know, I mean, there's definitely the potential for paper to come out. It's not permanently in here like it would be for a ring bound or even a spiral bound, but you kind of have to have a give and take. If you want to be able to take things in and out but not be stuck with rings that you can't write over, disc bound is the way to go. So I got this crazy idea that I wanted to punch my Inkwell Press A5 inserts, and I wasn't sure if it was going to work. I wasn't sure if I wanted to, you know, cut off, let's see, if I wanted to cut the edge off of these holes right here before I punched it. I'll close that so you can see a little bit better. But it really, really bothers me when the punch is cut into the pre-existing print. So if you look at like the monthly and the weeklies of the Inkwell Press, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal because she's got a pretty big gutter right here. But in the monthly view, it would have cut into the days, and that just drives me crazy. I don't know why it bothers me so much, but it really does. I did it when I tried to make my Erin Condren into a ring bound planner. It just drove me bananas. So I measured where these punches would fall on the Inkwell Press inserts, and as it turns out, only 2 of the 8 punches fall within pre-existing holes. So 6 of those 8 punches are still in fresh paper that had not been punched yet. So I thought I would give it a shot, and as it turns out, it's actually quite sturdy. The Inkwell Press paper is very, like, I'm lifting up the whole planner with this page. It's very, very thick, heavy-duty, high-quality paper, so it bodes itself well to being used in disc-bound systems. So that is, I don't foresee that being an issue. This is really, really sturdy in here. One thing to remember when you're using a disc-bound system is that you don't want to turn pages from the top or from the bottom. You want to turn pages from the edge. So it just takes a little tiny bit of getting used to, but you can see that the pages turn so well with the aluminum discs. I honestly think these make all the difference in the world. So if you want to pare this down and you don't want it to be quite such a chunky planner, I actually really like the way that this looks, this little chunker. But if you want to pare this down, I was able to get everything that I needed into just 1-inch rings. So I actually only have half of the year in here for the Inkwell Press inserts. And so what I did, you could take it down to just, 2 or 3 months worth of monthlies and weeklies and have it be nice and slim, because if you have the month view in here still, you don't need to have the weeklies as well. So if you want to put, let's see, originally I had 3 months of this in, I have 6 months in right now, so it goes all the way up through the June weeklies. And then what I did is I just kept the month view for the rest of the remaining months in here. And it's just, I have the remaining year in here with only that much space taken up. So I have my July board, mission board, and month, August mission board and month, September, etc., all the way on. So if you have the monthlies in here, I usually use just sticky notes like this to do my planning far out. So if I know I have an appointment on, this date, I'll write it on my sticky note and just slap it in here. And then when it comes time to plan for this week in my weeklies, I'll refer back to here. I'll permanently write it into the month view and then write it into the week view afterwards. So you don't need to have the entire year in here if you want to keep it nice and slim. And then the other cool thing about disc-bound planners is you have all of the accessories that you would with a ring-bound planner. So you have, these are the Martha Stewart dividers that I picked up. It was, I think I said it earlier, but buy 2 get 1 free, Martha Stewart. Dividers, a pocket, like a slider pocket, and then another little folder that you can have in here. Plus this one comes with a little loop for your pen. So anyway, this system I'm really, really excited about because I can add pages as I need to. This was just dot grid paper that I printed off and cut in half and punched and stuck in here. So you can have your forward planning section, and then you can have in the back or the front or wherever you want to have it, you can have your collections, your notes. So I'm planning on taking all of the collections, the brain dumps, things like that from this notebook, and eventually just moving those collections into a page inside of this planner. Okay, so that is one way to do that. You could technically do that with any A5 size inserts and make your own customized bullet journal / planner. And then the other thing I thought would be fun to give it a try was to do it with my Erin Condren. So I know that so many people are in love with this planner and they want to make it work, but I think that the one thing that Erin Condren planners lack is, even though it's super customizable as far as you can pick the layout, you can put your name on it, you can do all kinds of stuff color-wise to make it all yours, it still is not easy to add and remove things such as note pages from this planner. And so that's where I think Erin Condren, I've used this planner for about 3 years now, and for the most part, this has been my favorite planner, but it still fell short as far as being able to have collections and note pages in here. So I, again, really didn't want to punch into the monthly or the weekly view, which is what I did when I tried to make it a ring bound planner. And so I thought I would just punch and see what happens. So if you look, you can see that the discs actually punch into pre-existing holes. So that actually worked out kind of perfectly, and it makes it quite sturdy. So I'm gonna pick up, here's just a regular, this doesn't have any reinforcement on it or anything like that, but this is just a regular, I'm picking up the planner by the page. So it's still very strong. The paper in Erin Condren is thicker than just regular like printer paper, but it's holding up really well, better than I thought it was going to. So I think that this is going to turn out just fine. I'm going to try to keep it in the 1-inch rings because I don't want to make this thing like any bigger or bulkier than it needs to be. If you compare these two, you can see this is the A5 size. They're just about the same, like when you put the binding in width-wise, and then almost the same height-wise as well. So I don't want to make the Erin Condren any bigger than it needs to be, but you could certainly put 1.5-inch rings in here if you wanted to add more stuff in here. So I'm trying to keep this one as sleek as possible. And again, you could have, 6 months of your monthlies and weeklies in here, and then just have the remaining, just keep the month view for the following 6 months in the planner, and keep it nice and light and nice and thin. So what I also did is I punched the whole year, which took me, honestly, I uncoiled, so you cannot rip it out, you have to uncoil, and then I punched, which took me all of about maybe 15 minutes to do, because I wasn't trimming any of this off. And then I also had an old Erin Condren, I have a bunch of her notebooks laying around that I haven't used yet, and I just added a whole bunch of note paper into the back. So I know that she has different options now. You can do dot grid. I think she has like a productivity version of the paper, but you can just buy a regular notebook, uncoil it, punch it, and now you have a whole bunch of extra pages in the back that you can use for notes, collections, brain dumps, all of your bullet journal-y type stuff. And again, I do my daily bullet journaling in the actual day view. So this is my bullet journal daily for today. That's going to be my bullet journal daily for tomorrow, and so on. And then at the end of the week, I would collect my leftover and things that hadn't happened and put it into my week view here. And then at the end of the whole month, whatever hadn't gotten completed, I go through. I think I have another video about how to bullet journal in an Erin Condren, which I will link below. And then I will put any of those uncompleted tasks from the entire month into this moving list right here. So anyway, not going to get too far into that. Just want to show you guys how I made this planner. The other important things that I wanted to add were the pouch and the folder. Now I did reinforce the folder and the pouch here. So what I did was I hated the new folder that Erin Condren had this year. She has a pocket here, and then there's no pocket on the back. There's just like this weird stuck-on pocket, and so that means that you can't do one of my favorite planner hacks, which is tape along the bottom and then create a big pocket up here to make this a third pouch. So I used one of my old pockets that I really liked, and so I'll show you in this. It'll be easier to see, but I ran a piece of packing tape, like a heavy duty packing tape, which I think I brought it over. It's just this Scotch brand shipping tape, heavy duty, and I took a piece and ran it down here and then folded it over. and then I punched into that. So by using the tape to reinforce the edges here, you're basically making this back into a single sheet of plastic or paper or whatever it is, and then you're repunching it. So the reason that it was important to do it on the stiffer materials, it doesn't matter so much for the actual pages in the planner because they're a little bit more flexible, but when I used, this was an old cover that I was kind of experimenting with. I'm going to put the black back there so you can see. I just punched straight into this cover, and because the material was stiffer, the teeth broke off. And so I knew that wasn't going to work. And so I did the same method for my folder, and I did the same method for the covers. I put a piece of tape, again, you can see the tape here all along the side, folded it over, and then it makes the teeth kind of line back up into one piece of plastic again, and then you can punch right into it, and it's like it never was punched in the first place. And the other benefit to this is I have so many really cute covers for Erin Condren. If I ever decide to go back to ring bound or spiral bound for whatever reason, you just take the tape off and you still have the majority of these holes. The integrity is not compromised. So you could still theoretically use this cover on a spiral bound. So I'm going to show you guys how sturdy this is. I don't think this thing is going to go anywhere, to be honest with you. I think it's very, very sturdy. There we go. So, I mean, I'm swinging the planner around by the cover. I don't know if you guys can see that, but yeah. So, like, it's very, very sturdy when you do it like that. So, and then I just stole a Leuchtturm pen loop from my bullet journal and taped it in back here. Because without the spiral, I don't have a place to put my pen. So that's pretty much all I can think of for how I did this. You kind of have to, I want to show you guys one more thing. You kind of have to play with the settings on the arc punch because it has settings for a letter size and for the A5 and junior sizes on here. You can slide this in and out to accommodate different sizes, but because the Erin Condren is not letter or A5 sized, I think it's 7x9, you kind of have to play with finding the right settings so that you punch right in the middle of this paper. I know a lot of people, they overlook that and they just slide the paper right up to the edge and then they end up punching like with a big gap at the top and then it's all off. So make sure that you just kind of eyeball where the middle, when you stick it into the hole punch, eyeball that there's enough space on either side. And the cool thing is once you find that sweet spot with one page, you can slide this and have it just sit where that spot is so that you can continue to punch the rest of the pages that way. And then the same thing goes for if you want to add like a printout, like an A5 size printout. So I just made this little tracker right here. And so I just, again, eyeballed. If you use the A5 or junior size setting on the punch, you're going to get a weird gap on the top. It's going to be shifted up. So just eyeball right in the middle of the page there. Okay, so I hope that helps. I hope that this kind of gives you guys some inspiration for how to use a disc bound planner and make your current planner more functional. And if you guys have any questions or any suggestions, please feel free to leave me a comment below. I'm also going to drop a coupon codes for both the Erin Condren and the Inkwell Press that will get you guys $10 off of your purchase if you want to try those planners out. Okay, so thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.